Now, we're known as a nation of animal lovers, but new statistics from the RSPCA show the North East has yet again one of the highest numbers of people convicted of animal cruelty in the country. North Yorkshire had the second highest number of convictions in England. County Durham and Tyne and Wear were also high on the list.
But the RSPCA says most cases they deal with on a day-to-day basis are not about people deliberately harming animals. Instead, they focus on helping pet owners make the right choices about how they look after their pet. Our reporter Amy Lee has spent the day with one Teesside inspector to find out more.
Playing with his toys, you'd never guess that Marley is 15 years old. He's a feisty Jack Russell, but a member of the public has called the RSPCA, worried that this little dog is being mistreated. Inspector Nick Jones is here to find out what's actually happening with owners Andrew and Deborah. It turns out they're not abusing their dog, but rather worried about taking Marley to the vets in case he bites them.
It has been extremely helpful because at least it's given me the confidence now to be able to take him. Now that I know that if he does bite him, I'm not going to get sold and he's not going to get a destruction order on him. You want it, doctors? You're going to be a good boy? You're finally notorious, Marley.
A large part of Nick's job involves responding to calls from concerned members of the public. They give him information and he then makes a call at the house in question to ask about any concerns that have been raised.
I then like to go down and have a look at some pigs which are being kept in someone's back garden.
No one we visited during our day filming with Nick was being prosecuted for animal cruelty or facing legal action.
The poverty in the area probably plays a part, as does the education as well. Ultimately, what the RSPCA is about is promoting kindness and preventing cruelty. And if you can do that through advice and treating people the way that you'd expect to be treated yourself, and offering them the helpful advice that they sometimes need, you do find people are very grateful.
You complained about it also?
Yeah.
Very often during the day, there was a lot more to the story than met the eye. Take Joey the parrot, for instance. A call was made to the RSPCA alleging he was living in dirty conditions. But Nick was pleased with how he was being cared for, but he did give some tips to his owner, who's disabled and needs help clearing out his cage.
Shocked at first because I know he's looked after and he's loved by us and the kids, so I was a bit disappointed. I suppose it's a bit like the police, people tarnish him with the same brush where they think they're just the bad ones, but they're looking after the safety of animals and make sure everybody's okay.
Not everyone is pleased to see Nick, though. This was a call to a house about an underweight cat, a cat Nick will have to revisit another time. Education plays a huge part in the day-to-day job of an RSPCA inspector. The owner of these bunnies ended up with 25 of them in her garden after putting boy and girl rabbits in the same hutch.
The lady in question, she was doing her best with 25 rabbits. As you can imagine, it's pretty much a full-time job, that many animals. And in all fairness to her, they were all in good condition. But she simply didn't have the space, and as I say, you had 6 rabbits per hutch, which is, entirely unsuitable.
Without this trip to the vets, she'd potentially have had 60 rabbits. The RSPCA will pay for the small neutering procedure and help with rehoming.
See you later.
Bye. The statistics might make for difficult reading, but Nick insists they only tell part of the story. And regardless, he and other RSPCA inspectors will be out and about across the country, helping animal owners just as much as their pets, in the hope of making both their lives better. Amy Lee, ITV News.